and welcome to Trashy, where we take a dumpster dive on this week's garbage people and the trashiest news stories. My name is Erica, and I am your host.
And my name is Cassandra, and I'm your other host. Hi, Erica.
Hi, Cass. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm coming to you live from my boyfriend's parents' master bathroom, where I'm sitting in the tub because this is the best place to record.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah. I mean, talk about, did you grow up with, was there a master bath in the house?
There was a master bath. Like, my parents' room had a bathtub and a separate shower.
That's what's going on in here. I don't know if I've ever grown up like this. I can only think of one place we've ever lived, like me and my mom, that had something to this effect. I mean, now I think she only has this scenario. But yeah, growing up, I think there was only one time. And yeah, I mean, this is a vibe.
It's a vibe for sure.
I'm feeling jealous. I want this kind of bathtub access.
Yeah. In my old house, I used to have access to a whirlpool bath and standing shower.
Ooh.
And it was everything.
I mean, I'm 5'10", and so I'm a pretty big girl. It's hard to find a tub I fit in, but I fit in this one. I took a bath and everything.
Wow. I had a doctor's appointment virtual, like a FaceTime doctor's appointment, just like a check-in.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, how tall are you? And I was like, 5'7". And he's like, the chart says 5'6.5". And I was like, I'm 5'7".
Wow, doctor. Damn.
He took me
called
down
you
a
out
peg.
like a man on a dating profile.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, my experience, men on dating profiles, if they say that they're 5'9", they're 5'7".
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why men jump to that one, but 5'7" men, or 5'8", of course, always, I'm 5'9", 5'9",
Yeah.
and then 5'10" and above, 6 feet.
6 feet.
6 feet.
Yeah.
6 foot. 6 feet? Yeah, I'm 6 feet.
Yeah. That was the joke at the beginning of the pandemic, was like, well, what are all these 5'10" men going to do? Because they don't know what 6 feet looks like.
Damn. I like it.
Not that I'm on dating apps. I just hear from my friends.
Okay, Erica. I'm just kidding. That's not a very funny joke.
So says I. Yeah.
Why are you trash this week?
Well, I did a no-no.
What'd you do?
I ordered Thai food, and the only place to park was in a red, right in front of a fire hydrant.
Ooh.
And so I just threw on my hazards, ran across the street, picked up that Thai food, and then ran back to my car, hoping a cop didn't drive by.
It wasn't even the red fire hydrant in front of the location? You were still across the street?
Still across the street.
Wow, Erica, you're that guy.
I was that garbage, yeah.
I mean, look, if you haven't done that, I think you're lying. We all have been there where it's like, I'm just picking up fucking takeout. Like, I'm not going to go park 3 blocks away or pay $10 to park for when I'm going to be in there for a minute.
A fraction of a minute. It was like, Erica, we got your order. Let's go.
Yeah.
How are you trash?
This is a historical trash.
Ooh.
As we all know, I used to be a scene kid. And this is just on my mind lately as, TikTok has denounced side parts and skinny jeans. And, I've obliged to an extent. I moved my part down the middle. Tons of compliments. Everyone thinks I, had a makeover. Turns out I just moved the part on my head. My hair's a little bit longer because of the pandemic, but it's been getting long for a while. So the middle part, I'm like, you know what, Gen Z, you're right. Skinny jeans, this is where I'm having a problem because I still buy skinny jeans. And in high school, this is the historical part of it, they didn't make jeans tight enough. So I was one of those kids that used to literally sew my jeans to be even tighter around my legs. Like frog legs status, really shitty sewing work. I cut up band t-shirts and I sewed them to be really tight too. but it's all hand stitch. And my mom is like an excellent sewer. She's not a seamstress, because a seamstress is like, my mom doesn't specialize in clothes. She, specializes in quilts. But like she, I could have just said, Mom, please teach me how to use a sewing machine. And maybe I did at one point, but I never made the effort to learn. I was like, nah, fuck it. I'm going to just hand sew all this. And I used to just like literally sew, and not just me, like I would sew my boyfriend's jeans, like sew them onto him almost.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, you wear them more than twice, or you put your foot in too fast and you crack your jeans.
So I used to wear what I would call liquid jeans in high school to stock shows. And these were jeans so tight that my tiny, 000 frame, I would have to pull up the zipper with pliers. I would have to lay down, zip them up with pliers, and then have someone like pull me up so I could stand.
Wow. You were a 00 and you couldn't find jeans small enough?
Couldn't find them tight enough.
Holy guacamole.
There was a period of time where I was that tiny and I thought that I was huge because my best friend was a very tiny person.
Mm.
And so I was always the big girl.
Oh boy.
Even if I got to a size 2, I was like, I'm humongous.
Damn. Yeah, I was living over there in size 13 world pretty much my entire life. I was actually thinking this to myself this morning. I was like, when was the last time I was a 12? Mm-hmm. High school.
Yeah.
But you know what? Thanks society, we all thought we were huge. Didn't matter.
Didn't matter. Didn't matter. You know what else doesn't really matter to me?
Ugh. Our first story?
Yep.
Yeah, so shut off the podcast. It doesn't matter.
According to consequencesofsound.net, my favorite website, AI rapper FN Mika releases new single, Speed Demon.
The world's first AI-powered robot rapper. Wow.
From Bob Dylan to digital film curators, there's a whole wide world of AI robots out there slowly encroaching on human skills. And FN Mika is the latest to join the bunch.
The bot, who's credited as being the world's first AI-powered robot rapper, just released a new single called Speed Demon that's already making waves on TikTok. Now, I have a bit of an issue with this. Because I listened to this song.
Yes.
And I can't really tell the difference between this and like maybe some of the rap that's out today. This is like trap music, I believe is what the beat is trap, and this is like that kind of rap, but I don't know, I don't really consider that hip hop. Is hip,
I understand. Here, let me see if I can play a clip of it.
Okay.
Because it is bad. Bad.
I mean, it sounds like what's out there, which is fine. I think I'm just like, I'm bumping against the word rapper, but I think that according to a lot of SNL sketches and things I've seen, because I don't get to talk to humans anymore because of the pandemic, I think a lot of people take offense to the word rapper when referring to some of these types of artists.
That was a great SNL sketch that you're referencing with Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, and Pete Davidson, where they're yeet, skirt, skirt. But they're like, oh, we're rappers. And yeah, it's not, this isn't, whatever. I'm focusing on the wrong thing. And I know that. I'm just saying, like, what do we call this AI a rapper? What do we call any of these people rappers?
Well, according to a press release, FN Mika is powered by Vidya, a distributor that provides a platform for his label, which lives in a dimension between the human world and the virtual world, empowering not only these unique creators, but the teams behind them.
Together, they've released a handful of singles like Moonwalking and Internet, in addition to this new track, Speed Demon. Now, it's not all that inventive or impressive, but it definitely goes down easy as a twinkly dose of rap with a catchy refrain, over a generic trap beat and a chipper melody akin to a glockenspiel?
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
It's a musical instrument.
Okay.
That's all I know.
Oh, it looks like a xylophone.
Mm-hmm.
Like a double xylophone. Okay. Cool, 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 cool. And then he's really auto-tuned, so it's hard to understand him. But again, that sounds right.
Yeah. He can be heard rapping about expensive gifts, screaming, and what it's like being a bot in overdrive.
I mean, I think those are all relatable, especially the screaming.
Uh-huh. Expensive gifts. I'm lavished in them.
Yeah, for sure. What's the most expensive gift?
I would say a trip. Like
Ooh.
I was gifted a trip. So when my boyfriend and I broke up briefly several years ago, I booked myself a solo trip to Ireland, thinking I'm going to go to Ireland and catch some Irish Strange and have a blast.
Mm-hmm.
And said boyfriend was like, when we got back together, was like, I'll go with you on this trip. And he like upgraded my ticket so we could fly together. And then, the whole trip, I would say, was somewhat of a gift.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Minus the Irish Strange.
Yeah, didn't get any.
That's all right.
He said I could still, but I just chose not to.
It would have been a whole conversation. Probably would have, felt a little wrong.
Oh, it would have, yeah, I would have had a lot of guilt over it, I'm sure.
You know what else feels kind of wrong?
What?
According to globalnews.ca, a judge calls a Toronto cop who ate cannabis edible on the job a complete idiot.
Now, think about the highest that you've ever been.
Yeah, terrifying.
Now think about having to testify in front of a judge about how high you were.
I mean, it almost felt that way when I was trying to convince my cousin's mom that I wasn't that high.
Uh-huh. The first time I smoked pot, I was 23. I know, late bloomer.
Mm-hmm.
And I was smoking with my best friend and two guys that she knew, but I did not know them.
Mm.
And so I was convinced through the pot that I was in a murderer's house.
Sure.
And the only way to make sure that this guy wasn't a murderer was to check the fridge and see if he had heads in the fridge. And so I had to make an excuse to get up and go get a glass of water. But it took me 20 minutes to be like, how am I going to explain I'm thirsty? Whereas I could have just said, hey, I'm going to go get a glass of water. But it was a whole debate inside my head, how to make this look not suspicious.
Yeah, we were smoking pot. I must have been 14 at the time. Just smoking pot with men that were way too old to be around teenagers. But that's for therapy, not for trashy. And yeah, I just kind of I'd smoked pot a few times and I loved it. And so I very confidently kept hitting it every time it came around. And I got fucking annihilated high. And we were supposed to go to the store with my cousin's mom, and I was way too high. I think I almost fell over on my way home. And so I just was doing everything I could to be less high. I didn't go to the store. My other cousin, her older sister, was teasing me, and I was praying that I would just be not high anymore. And that was I didn't really, I haven't smoked pot a ton since then, which is crazy, but I have done it a few more times and it was always totally fine. But yeah, it fucking scared me. So imagine you're a moronic police officer such as Vittorio Dominili, and you know that you're going to raid a chocolate edible shop. So you just eat one. What a fucking ding dong.
Yeah. Justice Mary Meisner, who presided over the case, said that Dominelli's actions were on the low end of the spectrum when it came to evidence tampering, but were nonetheless significant.
So basically what happened is the officer, armed and dressed in plain clothes, agreed to go get pizza for the squad as they were going through the pot shop. And then while walking out of the store, he saw several cannabis oil-infused chocolate bars and he pocketed some. He and his partner, Constable Jamie Young, went to the nearby pizza place, and then they started to have second thoughts about stealing the bars. And then they proceeded to they claim that they've never had weed ever. I don't know if that's true or false, and maybe it is true because of the way that they ate it, but they both ate 8 squares of pot chocolate on the job.
On the job.
Just, did it. And sure enough, he fucking lost his mind.
He assumed it would be a minor mellow feeling, said Perlmutter, his attorney. He did not think consuming a small amount would impair each officer.
Dominelli thought he was going to die, the court heard. He asked his partner to radio for help, but she refused. The officer eventually grabbed the radio from his partner, ran up the street, and called for help.
They became seriously intoxicated, the court heard. Young has been charged with attempting to obstruct justice and breach the trust, but the allegations against her have not been proven in court.
The judge did say that it doesn't matter, if they were raiding a house and he grabbed a comfy pair of socks and put them on, it's the same thing. You're tampering with evidence. So I don't think that they're so mad that probably someone is mad that he got high on the job, but she's more pissed off that he was tampering with evidence.
So the officer grabbed the radio from his partner, ran up the street, and called for help. "Send an ambulance," a breathless Dominelli tells the dispatcher on the call, which was played in court.
Oh my God, it's so embarrassing. You injured? Did anything happen?
"I'm just lightheaded," Dominelli says.
The other officers rushed to the scene. One of them slipped on ice and suffered a severe head injury. That officer still has significant difficulties with speech and vision. I mean, this sounds like a Benny Hill scene.
Yeah. So
Dominelli apologized to the court, the police, and his family. Apparently, when he talks about it, he still, shakes and cries, which to me is I don't know. I have no sympathy for this. I have no sympathy for this stupid fucking cop who is going to go and raid, a dispensary and then steal some drugs while they're at it. How backwards is that?
"It was an act of utter stupidity," said his lawyer. "He has done everything he can to show remorse and make reparations for what he's done." Like what?
Yeah, what? Because you shake and cry in court and you said you were sorry? Fuck you, dude. People get put into jail for less. I can't speak to Canada, but you don't get to go raid Pablo Escobar's house and leave with some cocaine up your nose.
Just for me, just a private stash, just to test it.
Yeah, what the fuck? You don't get to, go raid, what the fuck is his name? God, this joke sucks. Hold on. I can't remember the Breaking Bad guy's name. I know his Bryan Cranston, but what is Walter White? You don't get to go raid. It's over. Who cares? Whatever. I'm trying to make a fucking segue and talk about meth. Jesus, what a crash and burn.
According to our next story from nationalzero.com, a Cherokee County man was arrested on Thursday after police said he was riding a moped and steering it with his feet.
How else do you steer a moped?
Well, according to the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office, Cherokee County Sheriff Frank Reynolds was traveling on I-575 south of Sixes Road. During the sheriff's commute, he said he saw a man steering a moped with his feet. In addition, the moped, according to the sheriff's office, did not have a tag.
They never do. If you don't have a tag, just use your hands to steer the moped.
Yeah, you're already the most suspicious thing on the road.
The moped rider allegedly refused to immediately pull over, and after a brief pursuit, the suspect rode into the woods and then ran on foot. That man, later identified as Evan Daves, 23, of Blairsville, was arrested near Ronald Road, and he was charged with several traffic violations, but also possession of methamphetamine. Because, of course.
I can't believe he didn't run on his hands. Just do.
Fucking hilarious, Erica.
He's an upside down man. He can't help it.
He would have gotten away with it if he would have ran on his hands.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, oh, this guy's how he works.
He's just upside down. We can't help it.
You know who else was upside down?
Who?
Some Irish strange for you. According to the independent.ie, a drunk cyclist kept falling off of his bike in front of an officer. Ugh. Bikes are hard to ride when you're drunk.
I can't ride a bike now.
Why?
I never learned.
Well, I'm not going to offer to teach you because I'm sure that every person ever is like, oh, I'll teach you how to ride a bike. I wouldn't know how to do that for you, Erica.
I have a lack of confidence in my own balance. And so I think that is, and thank you for not offering to teach me, because I can't express how everyone says that. And then
That's what I'm saying.
Everyone has failed and or not even followed up to try.
Yeah, I mean, it's you're in your early 30s. You don't ride bikes. That's just what it is.
It's just who I am. I've accepted it.
Yeah, and you're okay.
I'm fine.
Yeah. A stubborn, drunken cyclist refused to park his bike and walk it home despite falling off twice in front of a Garda outside of the Dale.
Val Pusanoff, 51, became argumentative and awkward and was arrested when he tried to climb back into the bicycle but fell off a third time.
Judge Brian O'Shea found him guilty of drunk cycling and fined him €400.
Handyman Pusanoff of Camden Street, Dublin, too, has pleaded not guilty.
He had 4 beers at lunchtime, as you do, and he said that they wore off, but he was having a hard time balancing because he had an arm injury.
Oh,
see, officer, it's not the beers, it's the fact that I have a cast on. This is why I cannot ride my bike. Please leave me alone now.
A Garda told Dublin District Court he was on duty outside Dale Iron at 8:30 p.m. last September 30th when he saw Pusanoff falling off his bike twice on Marion Street Upper.
The guard went to go see if the guy was injured, and he noticed the strong smell of alcohol and that his speech was slurred. Said, "Have you been drinking?" And then he was like, "Yeah, I had 4 cans of 5-piece alcohol Dutch beer." Is that Irish or Scottish or something else?
It might be something else, but it was pretty good.
Thank you.
The Garda advised him to park and secure his bike and walk home safely.
He was unsteady on his feet, tried to cycle off, fell again, and was arrested. But he said, "If I felt drunk, I wouldn't cycle." What is it? It's like Paul McCartney Goes to Australia or something.
The man accused said it had been dark, rainy, and slippery, and he was just having trouble balancing because of his arm in a plaster.
I mean, this sounds hilarious and like another Benny Hill scene.
Yes. This has been a Benny Hill. Who doesn't know who Benny Hill is?
Some people, probably.
Yeah.
Youth.
Google it.
It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, he became awkward and stubborn, and the judge said he wasn't looking to persecute him. He was just concerned he might become injured.
That's nice.
Yeah.
You know who was looking to get persecuted?
Our next story.
According to theoutsider.com, police pull over a pickup truck driver sitting in a camping chair behind the wheel.
Now, this sounds like some Ronnie Curry shit.
Ronnie
Curry, my grandfather, had never sold a vehicle. When he acquired one, it just went out into the pasture when it was done. And so I learned to drive in the pasture when I was like 8 in just an old throwaway truck that like didn't have brakes probably.
Jesus.
He never threw away a vehicle. And so after he died, we like had to haul out all the trucks and cars to a junkyard.
Wow.
Yeah. So
this is Wednesday, March 10th. Wisconsin State Patrol pulled over a man in a Ram pickup truck. When they got to his door to get his license, there was something obviously off.
Almost immediately, the officer realized that there was no seats in the car. The state police trooper saw that the man was sitting on a camper chair instead of an actual car seat. While there is no explanation for this, why this was the case, it is hilarious. Thank you, article.
Yeah, according to you, writer, this sounds insane.
After confiscating the vehicle, the Wisconsin State Police posted a picture of the pickup truck's interior to their Twitter.
So we'll post a picture of this because it's crazy, but it's like a camping chair in like exactly what it sounds like, but there's like snow on the ground. Like there's snow inside the fucking car. Is that normal in Wisconsin that you guys just drive around with snow in the car?
Will you write in and let us know? We are children of the summer here in California, and we don't know.
Yeah. So the single collapsible chair at least had a couple drink holders for his beverage, which was great. But it is very much illegal to have this be the chair that you use. I mean, we don't know if it was bolted to the ground or something like that, but I mean, you hit the brakes too hard.
Oof.
Right? Straightforward.
In the tweet, the Wisconsin State Patrol included a link to the state vehicle standards page.
As if that was necessary.
This is the page that you can find this rule on. We're nerds.
Whoever wrote this article, by the way, is like so obsessed with the fact that like this happened in Wisconsin and not Florida. Like we're skipping these parts, but they're literally like, let's see if a Florida person can top this. It's like, okay.
Like, yeah, it's like somebody has an inferiority complex about themselves and Florida.
They're just sick of like, oh, a Florida man. If only they knew what was going on in Wisconsin. Oh, if only something could come out like this. Yes.
Oh, man. According to the Wisconsin State Legislature, seats need to be secured, fastened to the floor of the car. The seats also need to include head restraints in line with specific requirements from the vehicle manufacturer. That would also pertain to the make, model, and year of the car or truck. Car seat laws in Wisconsin have been around since 1975, so hopefully this isn't the first time he is hearing about this law.
We're getting a lot of bullshit too of like people getting forgiven. We need a story about someone who is very much in trouble.
I think our next story should be in trouble for a very long time.
I agree. According to PennLive.com, Pennsylvania woman created deepfake videos to force rivals off of daughter's cheerleading squad.
Police arrested a 50-year-old Bucks County woman March 4th for sending her teen daughter's cheerleading coaches fake photos and videos depicting her rivals naked, drinking, or smoking and trying to get them kicked off the squad, according to media reports.
I know that people, you'll do anything to get on Matt, but don't do this.
Don't do this.
So what's a deepfake?
So a deepfake is where they will take a video and make it look like, Obama or Trump is saying something that they're not, but it's a video where the technology makes it look like someone is doing something that they're not.
That's crazy that this technology exists. And imagine so we read through this story and apparently there's no evidence that this woman's daughter knew that her mom was doing this, but manipulating videos and photos of imagine teenage girls. Ugh, this is fucked up.
It's super fucked up. She's actually facing 3 counts of cyber harassment of a child and 3 counts of harassment. She had sent the text messages directly to the teenagers as well, the police said. As the investigation continued, more teenagers came forward, who were all part of a traveling cheerleading group called the Victory Vipers, based in Doylestown area.
Wow. So, if you're sending it to the teenagers directly, isn't that also kind of like an attempt at blackmail?
Yeah, she sent it into the coaches and to the teenagers, I believe.
Oy, man, and a 50-year-old of all things. I didn't even know that they could use a computer good.
Yeah, Photoshop's hard as hell.
Yeah, this is nuts. I'm really glad that this woman's getting punished. And in jail, hopefully. Sad for her daughter, for sure.
Yeah. She just wanted to make Matt.
But you know what? Not like this.
No, it's insane that we have this technology and that you could be accused of anything this day and age.
It's really scary. It's even, when they use it for even the weird stuff of Marilyn Monroe put out a new Chanel commercial and it's why? I don't like this.
I don't care for it.
This is weird. Or, I got freaked out when I was watching the Super Bowl and they were doing the Paramount Plus things and they had Lucy and Desi Arnaz climbing a mountain with everybody else. And I was I don't know. Obviously they paid for that image and whatever, but it just seems weird,
Yeah, I don't like it.
Or Kanye West. Kanye West did that for Kim Kardashian, for her birthday, where she had he had the hologram of her dad, saying all you're married to the most genius guy or something like that. It's that's fucking weird.
Yeah, let the dead be dead, I say.
I just wonder because and we don't have to get into this because this isn't like thoughtful podcast, but like, is this like how do we persecute and like enforce this kind of stuff to protect your own image from having this happen to you?
I think like it's something that we'll have to incorporate into our will.
Ew, interesting.
Mm-hmm. Don't use my image.
Wow, wow.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get on something lighter and more childlike.
Oh yeah, according to WHDH.com, man stole 400-pound slide from playground and mounted it on bunk beds.
How? How do you steal a 400-pound slide?
That's not a one-man job.
No. Can a normal ass pickup truck even hold 400 pounds, or am I like underestimating the power of American engineering in a Ram?
Yeah, you're thinking about like some frou-frou European truck that can't hold 400 pounds.
Ooh, wow. Dustin Allen Bushnell, 30, of Burbank, Washington, not my Burbank, was arrested Tuesday on a charge of possession of a stolen property. I think the cops were raiding his place looking for catalytic converters, which is like a piece of car that gets stolen all the time.
Uh-huh.
And then just happened to mosey into this. I mean, this guy lives in a trailer, I think that's what it says.
Mm-hmm.
So she's looking for car parts and then just sees like a gigantic fucking slide.
I had a friend, an LA comedian, had their catalytic converter get stolen off their car this week.
I was talking to my pod and it came up in conversation of like, shout out to Ashley Snyder. Doesn't listen, but every week. But she was talking about how that happened to her in high school. And like the way you know it happened is if you turn on your car and your car is just like insanely loud.
Oh.
Like so loud that like, oh, like that, you know, that like my car's never been that loud before. Like something's wrong.
The officer Lee was suddenly face to face with the gigantic slide, which was reportedly stolen in December of 2020 as she searched the home for catalytic converters. Bushnell sawed off the slide, repainted it, and mounted it on a bunk bed in their child's room at his mobile home, according to the investigators.
They also did find catalytic converters. So they found what they were looking for and, you know, a little bonus.
A bonus. A whoopsie. A fun little whoopsie.
I just don't, like, what are the odds that stealing a 400-pound slide from a playground is somehow easier than just building a slide?
Yeah, you can buy a plastic slide from Home Depot for like $100.
Yeah, I mean, $100 versus free, you know, but still, like, I don't know.
Not for me.
No. You know what else is not for me?
Kiss Me, I'm Contagious t-shirts.
Yeah, I don't love them. According to mlive.com, Up North Bar throwing a St. Patrick's Day party complete with Kiss Me, I'm Contagious t-shirts.
The cancellation of mainstay St. Patrick's Day celebrations due to the coronavirus pandemic have prompted a new one in Gaylord, complete with shirts that read, Kiss Me, I'm Contagious.
The Iron Pig Smokehouse, which last year had its liquor license suspended for operating in violation of COVID-19 control measures, saw local festivities shuttering and decided to uphold tradition with its own celebration at the Ellison Place on March 13th. It had a 300-person capped party with food from the Iron Pig, drinks from the Ellison Place, Celtic dancers, and a sexy kilt leg competition. Wow.
The Iron Pig owner, Ian Murphy, said the restaurant hosted an outdoor event in December with overwhelming feedback so after the cancellation of local hibernation St. Patrick's Day celebration, he figured they could still fill in the need for the community.
So, I mean, this is kind of nice, I guess.
No, fuck you. This is not you. Fuck these people. Like, having a celebration this size during Corona, I find is to be highly irresponsible.
Okay, but they said that they were able to do it safely. They had a safe, like, within the law Christmas party. So they're just doing the same model, but for St. Patrick's Day. But I mean, look, yeah, I wouldn't go to an indoor place with 300 other people in there. But, like, if they're following the Michigan rules...
You might be following, like, the letter of the law, but not the spirit of the law. The Ellison Place has a 2,200 person capacity, and they were only allowing in 300 patrons at a time, according to the website.
The celebration is advertised alongside branded shirts reading "Kiss Me, I'm Contagious," which Murphy noted, very obviously, is a classic take on "Kiss Me, I'm Irish."
A lot of people were quick to be upset about the conclusion of "Kiss Me, I'm Contagious," but about it having something to do with COVID. Frankly, that's not really the case. The shirt means I'm contagious because I'm Irish, I'm fun, we're having a good time. Contagious is part of being the life of the party. No, fuck you. That's
I
not
didn't
true.
take it that way. Like, first of all, like, I'm contagious because I'm Irish. My head immediately goes to the fact that, like, Irish Catholics have a lot of children. But, like, they're just saying, oh, we're just fun.
No.
Our Irish fun is contagious. Bitch, you're making a COVID joke.
You're making a COVID joke.
Don't lie. Just own it, you stupid.
Just be like, yeah, we're saying we're flying in the face of it. We're fucking you. Like, just own it.
They had a t-shirt earlier in the pandemic called "Risk It for the Brisket, Barbecue with a Side of Freedom." And although those t-shirts had mixed responses, the sale of them kept the restaurant afloat during early pandemic closures.
It was critiqued by a judge when ruling that the Iron Pig 90-day liquor license suspension had a 90-day liquor. It was critiqued by a judge when ruling that the Iron Pig had a 90-day liquor license suspension for keeping the restaurant open despite mandated pandemic closures.
This is just an opportunity for us to step back, have a good time, and hopefully have a lot of laughs with hairy legs and good foods, Murphy said. Ultimately, it's not trying to poke a stick in anybody's eyes about anything. We're just ready to get back to normal and have a good time doing it. Fine.
You know who else?
I'm having like a lot of quarantine fatigue to a point where like, and also like we live in LA and I'm convinced. I read an article in the New York Times, which, not to brag, I do subscribe to. And there is, something to be said that perhaps while Republicans are underplaying the virus, Democrats now may really be overplaying it. So I am, convince me otherwise. I take the pandemic very fucking seriously, and I'm a little bit paranoid about everything. But when people in other states do these kinds of things, and they're all following the rules of their states, I do sometimes have a thought in my head where I'm like, am I being dramatic? But maybe I'm just being like gaslit by, corporate America. I don't know. Like I'm struggling, and I'm just going to call it quarantine fatigue.
I accept that I am overreacting, but I live with a high risk partner, and I find that like I have been overly cautious, whereas some of my friends and people I know have acted like the goal is to catch it.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I agree with that. I find myself definitely on your side of, of things. I might not be as intense as you, but I also understand why. I mean, my roommate is high risk, so I'm not like great. Man, around the holidays, I was afraid to leave the fucking house.
Same. There was a time in LA where like one in every three people tested were positive.
Yeah.
And I didn't go get groceries. Like,
no, I didn't either. I was terrified. Yeah. I was so fucking scared, and I was like having panic attacks once a week. Like, I am ready for this shit to be over.
Mm-hmm.
Whew.
You know what else was terrifying?
We got another story from mlive.com.
3 adults in a small inflatable raft rescued from Lake Michigan.
3 people floating on Lake Michigan Tuesday afternoon were rescued, although they didn't initially want to be, but they were saved from what could have become a deadly situation. 3
adults were in a small inflatable raft floating about 100 yards from shore of Grant State Park in southwest Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the South Milwaukee Fire Department said in a news press release. Around 4:30 p.m., the fire department responded to a report that those in the raft were possibly in distress.
Authorities deployed an inflatable rescue raft and made contact with the boaters. None of them were wearing life jackets. They agreed to be escorted back to the shore, and they were educated on the dangers of being out in Lake Michigan in a small inflatable raft without a personal flotation device.
Now, this just sounds like a couple idiots having a good time.
I mean, 100%. Like, why else would you be on a small inflatable raft? And it's probably colder than heck out there.
Oh, it must be colder than a witch's tit in Wisconsin at this time of year.
At the time of the incident, the air temperature was 55 degrees. Oh, that's probably pretty nice for Wisconsin. And the water temperature was 34 degrees. In those temperatures, a person in the water can suffer from exhaustion and become unconscious in 15 to 30 minutes. That's pretty fucking scary and not something I knew.
Yeah, I never thought about like the temperature of the water affecting how long you could float, if you will.
Have you ever watched an ocean rescue in person? Or a rescue in person?
I was rescued in person from the ocean.
What happened?
I spent a spring break in college in Destin, Florida, which my whole university just traveled out east and went to Destin, Florida. And it was kind of a rainy day, but not, it's just like gray and yucky. And so I went out into the ocean because I was like, fuck it, I'm going to have fun. And a wave hit me and knocked my bottoms down.
Oops.
So I dipped down to grab those bottoms, and then another wave hit and my top pops off.
God damn, Erica.
So
spring break.
Spring break. And so from the shore, all you could see was like my boobs bobbing on the top of the ocean as I'm trying to pull up my bottoms. And I'm dying for my modesty as the waves continue to crash over me. And so my girlfriends were like, oh, she's not doing a bit. She's in trouble. And so they ran out to the ocean and saved me.
Wow.
While I was still holding on to my bottoms around my knees, and I was pulled ashore as I could quickly pull them up. But it was humiliating.
Holy guacamole. That's scary.
Yeah, I thought I was dying, and I was like, I'm not going to die naked in this ocean.
Did you ever that's how you were born. Did you ever do water parks and like those like really fast slides that just had every like bikini top around your neck because you just go so fast?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your bikini bottom is up your butt and your top is at your neck.
Yeah. That's a weird thing.
That is, what else is kind of weird?
What?
North Korea blasting anybody on human rights.
Right? This is according to CNN.com because we are fucking journalists here.
North Korea blasts K-pop industry as slave-like exploitation amid crackdown on foreign media.
That's like me blasting someone for dyeing their hair black and like eating too much.
Mm-hmm.
She looks foolish with how much she eats and dyes her hair black. Like, wow, have another LaCroix, why don't you?
Yeah, I was to say, that's like me blasting somebody for drinking LaCroix and living in a caftan.
So, Seoul, South Korea. K-pop is one of the South Korea's most popular cultural exports with a growing reach around the world. But it seems not everyone is a fan because over the weekend, an article published by North Korean propaganda website accused K-pop record labels of engaging in slave-like exploitation with hugely successful bands like BTS and Blackpink.
A piece of North Korea's Arang Miari site claimed that K-pop artists are bound to unbelievably unfair contracts from an early age, detained at their training and treated as slaves after being robbed of their body, mind, and soul by the heads of vicious and corrupt art label conglomerates.
Okay. Do you think that this is a cry for help?
On North Korea's part?
Like whoever wrote this is trying, because it knew it would get like probably like worldwide attention because they're talking about K-pop, but they're really being like, this is what they're doing to the K-pop people, but really they're being like SOS, this is what they're doing to us.
Oh, 100%. Like North Korea is like accused of wide-scale human rights abuses and including subjecting political prisoners to forced labor and slave-like conditions, according to a 2014 UN report. The call is coming from inside the house, North Korea. Like,
Yeah. So the K-pop industry is notoriously grueling and tough to break into, but the North Korean article included no proof of its allegations and just several paragraphs long citing reports in other media. So this piece was likely part of a push by North Korean propagandists to crack down on foreign media. I mean, maybe like by trying to tell those people who live in North Korea, oh, you don't want to listen to K-pop. They're not treated well.
yeah, that's fair. While Pyongyang's strict censorship apparatus severely restricts the movies, music, television, and newspaper and books its citizens can consume, technology has made it easier to smuggle the content from abroad, especially on USB sticks.
Defectors say that average North Koreans caught up in consuming foreign content, especially from South Korea and the United States, often face severe punishment. Such laws historically have not deterred people from doing so, but the situation may be changing.
I mean, I understand like K-pop is a gruel. Like, you do go into training at a young age. You do sign a contract that basically states that, like, while the label might buy you clothes and provide your training, like, you have to pay that back. But, like, in exchange, you get stardom. Like, it
I
is
mean,
a bad-ish system, but at the same time, like, this is like a way for them to express themselves.
well, I mean, things can be maybe worked out and maybe a little bit more fair. You know, we don't need everyone to go through what who was that guy who like made NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys and all those bands? Like that
Oh,
weirdo, because he was accused of doing like a lot of really predatory things to his artists and like giving them shit contracts and stuff, right? Or
Lou Pearlman. Yeah.
am I crazy? I think that that's like what
Yeah.
his vibe was, because that's what came to mind when I was reading this. I was like, oh, like we've done that here. Like the music industry is it's a rough industry.
It's been terrible. I mean, look at what like the Motown artists went through
Mm-hmm.
with being like ripped off and stolen from. I mean, the music industry is a tough beast. And like, I'm not saying it's fair, but like, it's a hard hear from North Korea.
Yeah, I think it's like, you know, stay in your lane, North Korea. Like, you're not great. I mean, I would be interested to hear more about this and what K pop artists go through, but definitely not from North Korea.
No, and like two things can be right. Like North Korea can be a little bit right in this,
Mm-hmm.
and K-pop can be exploitative in that.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like two things can be right. Like, your name can be Badlands McNally, and you can also have 100 pounds of meth at an airport. Does that make sense?
Oh, it makes sense. According to our next story, sent in by Uncle Richard from
Oh, Uncle Richard.
from thelostogle.com. Although there's probably more important news to write about, this big story came out of Oklahoma this week, and the now famous Oklahoma drug smuggler Badlands McNally was caught at the Jinx Airport with 100 pounds of meth in his airplane. Thanks to the incredible name, the following adorable and totally defeated mugshot, it quickly became a national odd news story.
So maybe I don't know enough about meth. I didn't realize that that was such an export that you would have to fly that around. Thought that it was like something that people could make.
Yeah, but not everybody's going to make it. Like, you can make your own clothes, but not everybody's going to do that.
A perfect comparison. Authorities arrested a Tulsa man accused of drug trafficking over 100 pounds of meth, allegedly discovered on a plane he landed at the Jones Riverside Airport. Investigators saw the plane land at about 8 p.m., reportedly piloted by Mr. Badlands McNally, and they started a pilot certification inspection. And then McNally was like, here's my pilot credentials. And while that was all happening, they were like, what's up with all that meth in the back?
He said he came from Watonga after visiting his family, but he did not say that he was at Lake Havasu City first. Investigators asked why he did not say he was in Lake Havasu City, but he could not provide an explanation, according to the affidavit.
Oklahoma. If we were to make a list of Oklahomans who should have been on Tiger King but weren't, Badlands McNally would have been right up there. He has all the characteristics you'd look for in a cast member of the show: the look, the name, and most importantly, the meth. Oh, well, now this writer is just putting an opinion piece on why Badlands and Joe Exotic didn't know each other. That's ridiculous.
This isn't the journalism that we come for.
No, what the fuck is he's like? How did they not meet? You could see him flying Joe to this. He's writing fanfic about Badlands and Joe Exotic. Come on, Uncle Richard.
Come on.
Did you write this yourself, Uncle Richard?
Did you submit this story yourself and make up Badlands McNally?
We encourage you to be creative, Uncle Richard, but not in the way of our journalism.
Everybody needs an outlet in quarantine.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, speaking of journalism, should we get into the dumpster fire of the week?
Oh, I'd love to. Ozzy!
Sharon Osbourne responds to claims that she used anti-Asian and homophobic slurs.
This is coming to us from Consequences of Sound, Erica's favorite website, and also a little bit from Instagram. My favorite website.
Sharon Osbourne has denied using anti-Asian and homophobic slurs as she was accused in a recent investigation report. In a new statement, the Talk co-host calls the allegations crap while repeating one of the racial slurs that she allegedly directed at former Talk panelist Julie Chen.
That's what's so crazy to me, is that you can't say, like, I don't say that thing. You can't say that you don't say these slurs, but then you say the slurs to repeat the stories. You know?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. You know, nobody's going on the news and saying the N-word while saying, I don't say that word.
Yeah, exactly. According to Osbourne, in a profanity-laced statement to the Daily Mail dismissing the allegation, she says, everyone's got an opinion or a story like the wonton story, Osbourne said. It's like, fuck off with your fucking wonton story. Fuck off.
Why is this not surprising to me? Like, I read this headline and I was like, Sharon Osbourne says racist and homophobic stuff. Like, yeah, that for some reason makes sense.
Yeah, it checked all of my boxes.
I'm not saying that she maybe is actively a racist or a homophobe. She's just a fucking idiot.
Yeah, she's like completely ignorant and was celebrated and rose to fame by saying stupid stuff on the Osbournes.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, yeah, of course she says fucking dumb, shit, like, and insensitive stuff. Like, she just seems like not a great person.
She said of Meghan Markle in 2018 that she's not black, and when then her co-host said she is black, she goes, well, she doesn't look black.
Ugh,
like, what the fuck does that even mean?
Yeah, so the controversy originally stemmed from Osbourne's defense of veteran British TV presenter Piers Morgan, which never is good. Do not ever defend Piers Morgan. And while Osbourne defended Morgan on The Talk, co-host Cheryl Underwood suggested that there was racist tones to his denunciation of Markle, leading to a heated debate that put the show on hiatus. Following the spat, former host Holly Robertson-Peete publicly accused Osbourne of saying that she was too ghetto to be on the show.
Osbourne later claimed that she was unprepared for the Piers Morgan segment on The Talk, having been told about it only 2 minutes before, and based her statement off written cue cards. And I'm like, I've been set up, and I went like, how dare you all do this to me? Osbourne told E.T. I'm your sacrificial lamb.
Hey, I understand, like maybe getting thrown into a conversation you don't want to, like, and not being mentally prepared for it. But if you have done nothing wrong, it shouldn't be that big of a deal to be thrown in. Like, it's like, you set me up, and you accuse me of all these things that I definitely did, but you set me up because I didn't have a publicist to tell me what to fucking say.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what? You fucked up. You said a bunch of shitty stuff and people are calling you the fuck out. You're not getting set up. You did it. You did it to yourself. So I'm not going to repeat the things, the racist and homophobic stuff she said, but the claims were put out there by former co-host Leah Remini, and she called, but Leah Remini said, that Osbourne would use anti-Asian things against Julie Chen and use homophobic slurs to co-host Sarah Gilbert. Or about.
Mm-hmm. The Talk remains on hiatus as CBS conducts an internal review. Oof.
Yeah. So let's get Sharon Osbourne off the fucking Talk.
Yeah, I have no need for her.
I mean, The Talk is daytime television?
Yes.
Yeah, we're good. Let's keep our daytime television as progressive as possible for just the audience of daytime television.
I don't understand how, like, you can think any of these things are okay.
You're just, I mean, she must think she's funny. And you're right. She did rise to fame by saying shit like this, but like so did Sarah Silverman, and Sarah Silverman is apologizing for everything
Uh-huh.
and admitting to it and saying, you know, like why she thought it was funny, but knowing that that wasn't right and all, like there's ways to kind of like own your shit, and then
Yeah.
there's ways to just be a fucking asshole. And also, like, I guess the difference between Sharon Osbourne and Sarah Silverman is that Sarah Silverman stopped saying racist and shitty things, whereas, you know, as a joke, where I don't believe that Sharon Osbourne did, because, like, I can't imagine why you would say such hateful things about someone else who is your, like, coworker, unless you were unless you felt like you were in some sort of safe space to make another coworker laugh. Like maybe she thought because Leah Remini is white that she could say
You're
shitty
too.
things.
Yeah. I think there's this like British concept of being cheeky that she
Okay.
skated on for like a long time. And that's like there's a certain wit and shade that comes along with being cheeky. But this is like cross the line into just, yeah, like racism and homophobia. And, you know, it's not cheeky to do those things.
No, to skate by and be cheeky, you need to also be clever. I feel like Ricky Gervais, most of the time, he has some views that I don't find very clever. But he's I guess an example of someone I can think of who is clever
Yeah.
with the kinds of things that he touches on topic wise that kind of probably helps him, you know, get away with being a little bit more provocative and what's the word I'm looking for? Like dangerous. I don't know what it is, but yeah, Sharon Osbourne's not clever. She's just a fucking idiot.
Yeah. Are you hoarding anything this week?
Yes, I'm really excited about this actually. I'm hoarding not fucking listening to shitty people.
Okay.
Like okay, so it comes with a story and it's incredible. I was on a big hike near the ocean with the one and only Ashley Snyder. And I'm trying to like be careful about how much I give out, but she got a phone call from a toxic boss who, you know, was just calling to whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Ashley just put that shit on speakerphone and muted herself and kept walking. She wasn't listening to a word he was saying because we've heard it all before. And, you know, like whatever, like it was just repetitive bullshit because he's a gaslighter and toxic. So it's like what if, like, I was like watching, I was like, the disrespect that she's showing right now is like delicious. And it just made me think like, this is like, I mean, successful men don't listen to people all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Successful women stop listening to shitty people. Don't sit there and take on the emotional baggage and bullshit and gaslighting from shitty fucking people. Like, we might not all be in a position where we can tell someone exactly how we fucking feel and hang up the phone. You know, that's not always like the rules, especially with like jobs and stuff. But you can not stop your hike, not listen to the same thing you've heard 15 other times, not provide the emotional labor that they're looking for from you. You can just fucking pop that shit on speaker and keep. I loved it so much.
That's incredible.
I was like, this should be like in a negotiation book, you know? Just don't listen.
Hell yeah.
Don't be taking it for a walk. Just don't listen. So I loved it. What are you hoarding?
I'm hoarding drink can with 2 N's.
Oh.
It is a CBD and THC drink that you can get delivered to your home in certain states. And it is it's 2 milligrams THC, 4 milligrams CBD, and it is just mellow and hits just right. And you don't feel high, you just feel relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
And I am a big fan.
This is the weed sodas is what I call them. They're great. And the whole point of it is like, I mean, depending on how much you want to drink, but like the low THC and CBD values, like really low, so you can kind of casually drink them. Like if you're with friends and you don't want to get drunk, but you do want to maybe get high, like this is an opportunity for you to sit and slowly drink with everybody else without drinking. This has been like a great thing for me and my partner because we've been trying to cut out drinking alcohol on weekdays.
Smart.
But like sometimes you still gotta you just fucking had a bad day.
You just had a bad day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good recommendation, Erica.
Yeah, it's great. I don't have a promo code for you. I get nothing in referring this. I just enjoy it.
I wish we did, though.
I'm working on it.
Yes.
I'm working on it.
Erica, what are you throwing away?
I'm throwing away the motherfucking Snyder Cut.
What is that?
Zack Snyder's cut of the Justice League movie that just got dropped on HBO Max. It's like 4 hours long.
Uh-huh.
It is slow motion porn. It is garbage. Wow. And my boyfriend is watching it, and so thus I'm watching it. And it is so bad. I'm throwing it away. Don't waste your time. Just because it's in the zeitgeist doesn't mean you have to watch it.
Wow. That's a good thing to toss because that sounds annoying as fuck.
Mm-hmm. What are you throwing away?
I'm throwing away... You want to talk some champagne problems. I can't figure out how to use the pool heater here.
Oh, no.
All the switches are confusing. And it's like, ugh, what the fuck? Like, I want to get in the pool, but it's cold. So I'm throwing out confusing pool heaters.
Champagne problems.
I am trash.
Where can the people find you?
At Cass Cardenas on Instagram and Twitter. And if you're listening to this on Monday, watch the CW tonight and watch the show All American. I'm going to be on it. And then, tweet us about it at Trashy Trashy Podcast. And every Tuesday night on the Nooner Podcast on the Smodcast Radio Network. Where do they find you?
You can find me at Iconic Erica Curry on Instagram and at Gilly Gal on Twitter. And this Wednesday night at twitch.tv/sweet Dalai Lama, you can watch me do improv with my partner for quarantine date night at 8 p.m. Pacific.
Oh, yay!
It'll be cute.
I love that.
It'll be cute.
Nice. Also, if you want to go to You Know At The Game's YouTube page, if you watch the most recent episode, Erica and I played You Know At The Game against fucking Paul Giamatti.
Hey, Paul Giamatti said my name.
I knew that Paul Giamatti was coming and I didn't want to tell you because I was like, what a weird random surprise that would be. How did you feel when you saw Paul Giamatti?
I was confused.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, Paul Giamatti is in the wrong Zoom. He must be in some important Hollywood Zoom and accidentally entered the wrong code.
What are the odds?
What are the odds? So,
like, he must be in the wrong Zoom and no one is reacting to the fact that he's here.
Everyone was chill.
Yeah. I mean, what are you going to do?
It was a good time.
Yeah. So, You Know At The Game show, go to their YouTube page. Watch Erica and I play You Know At The Game with Paul Giamatti and a wonderful woman, Deetra Payne, who is a great professor, and we loved her so much. So, yeah.
And you can check out this podcast at Trashy Trashy Pod on Instagram and on Twitter. And you can always find us in the iTunes charts. We are at 86 reviews, and we want to thank you so much from the bottom of our little podcast hearts for all of those sweet words.
Thank you.
And you can find us at www.trashytrashypodcast.com.
Ooh, yeah. There's a little box there, and you can enter why you're trash this week, and then we'll get it and we'll read it on the air.
And you know what?
What's up?
Stay garbage.
Oh, you stay garbage, girl.
I will. Bye-bye.
Bye.